Did I hit it?
No.
So why did you give me warning?
Because of your attitude towards me from the
What
first round.
attitude, man?
What did you do directly?
What have I told you? There's a tennis star, wildly successful, yet so wildly booed, riddled with controversy, polarizing, yet undeniably talented. Welcome to the saga of Novak Djokovic. The player everyone loves to hate. But before we sneak into the rest of the video, did you know that Novak does this one weird thing whenever he's at Wimbledon? Watch until the end to find out what. And as always, if this video serves up some tennis joy, volley that like button and backhand a subscribe for more ace-worthy tennis content like this. Let's begin with an unforgettable Wimbledon final, an arena humming with electricity, where Carlos Alcaraz, an emerging sensation, was on the brink of conquering his maiden Wimbledon title.
Djokovic is deposed as a new king.
This 20-year-old's challenge? Only the world's #1, Djokovic, gunning for his 24th Grand Slam title. This tantalizing cocktail of youth versus experience was a viewer's delight. Carlos played like a calculated game, while Novak was starting to unravel. You see, Djokovic, 36 and no longer the spring chicken of tennis, was served a time violation warning. But why? Apparently, he was taking a century to serve, or so the umpire thought. Now, that didn't sit well with the Serbian superstar. A war of words ensued, creating enough drama to make a soap opera blush. Novak's outburst was like popping a bag of popcorn in a quiet library. It made the spectators uneasy. Some giggled, some grumbled, and some blatantly sided against him. This outburst, however, seemed to focus Djokovic's flustered energies. He clawed back, pushing the second set into a nail-biting tiebreaker. Did he make it? Well, our tennis titan seemed to have become the human version of a pinball machine. Between receiving another warning and arguing with the umpire, Djokovic was all over the place. The tension hung heavy in the air, and the crowd was hooked to every serve, every swing, every stare down. Humour me here for a second. Imagine Djokovic's frustration bottled up and almost ready to burst, much like a can of soda that's been shaken too much. Djokovic was that can, and losing his serve in the 5th set was that final shake. The lid blew off, quite literally, when he nearly snapped his racket in half. Talk about wearing your heart on your sleeve, or, in this case, your anger on your racket. With this dramatic twist, Djokovic's illustrious Grand Slam streak came to a screeching halt. It's a journey studded with 23 major singles titles across the Australian Open, French Open, Wimbledon and the US Open. Just one shy of the record set by Margaret Court, Djokovic found himself reduced to a tearful, emotional mess post-match. It was a haunting reminder that no matter how high you soar, gravity still works. Now let's shift the spotlight for a moment from our crestfallen hero to Carlos Alcaraz. This young gun, this David to the Djokovic Goliath, had just won his first Wimbledon title. Alcaraz was hailed as the future GOAT, a moniker usually associated with the likes of Federer and Nadal. Unlike Djokovic, the people's champ, Alcaraz, oozes charisma, his infectious smile and humility winning hearts faster than his serves. His love for the game is as visible as his forehand swing, painting a contrast to Djokovic's perceived arrogance. His smile isn't just his secret weapon, it's his personal sunshine that brightens even the darkest corners of a tennis court. From being a beacon of hope and talent, let's drift back to Djokovic's journey of controversies. Remember that time he decided to play Russian roulette with a pandemic? Back in 2021, the world was shaken by the COVID-19 crisis. While most people were rolling up their sleeves for vaccines, our tennis maverick took a different route, the anti-vax route. While the world collectively scratched their heads at this decision, Novak pushed his luck, hoping for special permissions to play at the US tournaments, which had made vaccinations mandatory. Guess what? Lady Luck didn't grace him with her presence. As a result, he had to forfeit his chance to defend his titles. It's like waiting for a bus that never comes while you watch everyone else drive past in their cars. This peculiar stance not only led to more foregone opportunities, but also made Djokovic a contender for the title of the most infamous incident of the anti-vax saga. The peak came during the Australian Open 2022, where he managed to snag a medical exemption. Just when it seemed like the storm had calmed, his visa got revoked, followed by his deportation.
The Australian Open is about to begin in Melbourne without its defending men's champion. Novak Djokovic has been deported after losing his legal challenge to the cancelling of his visa.
Talk about a plot twist. The tennis world served a volley of reactions to Djokovic's deportation saga. Elisa Cornet was first to offer her backhand support, tweeting her disappointment over players' silence. Novak always stands for us, but none of us stood for him. Be strong at Djokonoel. Meanwhile, fellow PTPA colleague Vasek Pospisil whipped out a conspiracy theory, claiming political agendas behind the Serbs' plight. This is not his fault, Pospisil tweeted. He did not make his own rules. He was ready to stay home. From the baseline, Nick Kyrgios expressed his dismay with a disappointed facepalm emoji. However, fans were also cracking jokes about Djokovic getting deported. One of the funniest ones was by a Twitter user @UrbanMyths. They joked Novak Djokovic's deportation from Australia will go down as the greatest return of Serb in tennis history. So, even though it's a serious situation, people are finding a way to laugh about it. Oh, and how can we forget the Adria Tour fiasco? This charity event, meant to be a beacon of hope during the grim pandemic, transformed into a COVID-19 super spreader event, adding new feather to Djokovic's controversy-laden hat. The disregard for basic safety protocols was akin to poking a bear, and Djokovic and his fellow players got the full brunt of it. In this dance of fame, where every step counts, Djokovic seemed to have tripped over his own shoes. From his temper tantrums on the court to his unwavering anti-vax stance, Djokovic gave his critics ammunition aplenty. Despite his prowess on the court, he was left scrambling to salvage his reputation. In the grand theatre of tennis, love him or loathe him, Djokovic will remain a character impossible to forget. Will he turn things around, or is this the end of an era? Well, that's a story for another time. But for now, let's just say, Djokovic, it's been one hell of a ride. And now, back to our trivia. No, Novak's peculiar Wimbledon tradition isn't dancing the cha-cha or practicing tightrope walking. He eats grass. Yep, you heard that right. He munches on the stuff that cows seem to enjoy so much. Every Wimbledon, Novak morphs from a tennis titan into a lawnmower impersonator. But wait, it gets even weirder. Novak claims that the grass tastes like sweat. Yes, sweat. Who knew the world #1 had such a refined palate for bodily fluids? While we may relish the strawberries and cream, Djokovic savours the sweat-infused grass. Talk about a unique Wimbledon diet. And then there's his mid-game pep talk. Now, many athletes have rituals or superstitions, but Novak's one-man conference mid-match takes the cake. Imagine this, Djokovic locked in a fierce rally, then suddenly breaking the rhythm to whisper sweet nothings to himself. What's he saying? Is he reciting Shakespeare, repeating affirmations, or maybe ordering his dinner? Who knows? But there you have it, folks, the peculiarities of Novak Djokovic, a grass-eating, self-talking tennis maestro. If anyone ever tells you tennis isn't a quirky sport, just remind them of Djokovic's love for sweat-flavoured Wimbledon grass. And that, my friends, is game, set and match for this episode of Glam Slam Tennis. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a moment of the action and what we have in store. Until next time, stay fabulous and ace those serves.